Superman's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 2:05.747. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Look at Lars go, they're really giving it some jandle now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car is performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
Superman has a best lap time of 2:05.747. Megasaurus 55's on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine. First impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Lars has a best lap time of 2:12.488. Hey Hal, you reckon these drivers ever get tired of going round and round during practice?
Well, Rob, repetition is the key. Every lap gives you data, insights, and an edge over the competition.
With just 579 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations.
times tumbling as they dive in.
Superman posted a 2:05.473 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Last first serious lap is in the books with a time of 2:13.077. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Superman posted 2:16.688 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Watch as Megasaurus 55 takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything in Euro. The brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
It's all about finding that sweet spot during these sessions. Like tuning a didgeridoo, but way faster.
Haha, and a lot noisier. But you're right. In Indy, we fine-tune until it feels just right. Every lap here is a step towards perfection.
Drivers knowing during these laps.
All the time, it's a mix of analyzing, strategizing, and adapting. Every corner, every straight is a puzzle, and they're trying to solve it at full speed.
Superman has a best lap time of 2:05.473.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Lars is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
With just 572 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Down a 2:10.640. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that DW BMW GT3 Enduro.
For sure, Rob. It's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Look at Lars taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Superman posted a 2:17.383 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Ever heard the pit crew chat about wheel camber? Sounds like a dance move, but trust me, it's all car talk.
Haha, yeah, camber is the angle of the wheel relative to the road. A bit of negative camber, where the top of the tire leans inwards, can give more grip in the corners. But too much and you're looking at premature wear on the inside of the tire. It's a balancing act, and each track requires its own setting.
Superman posted 2:17.383 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Jack M teams on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine. First impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Superman has a best lap time of 2:05.473. Watch as Lars takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything a Euro. The brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
There's the first flying lap for Superman, hitting 9:04.857. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Watch as Jack M team takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything a Euro. The brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Superman's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 2:05.775. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Oi, these practices aren't just a walkabout in the park. It's here that races are often won or lost.
Absolutely. Back home in North Carolina, we emphasize the setup. A few tweaks during practice can lead to major gains on race day.
Superman's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 2:05.986. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Megasaurus 55 is on their first practice flying lap. With just 558 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Richard Rossier is on the outlap, not just warming up the tyres but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Alright, Lars has put down a 2:09.537. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that DW Gillette Vertigo Strafe Enduro.
For sure, Rob, it's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
watching these practice sessions, you'd think the driver just jumps in and goes. But there's a heck of a lot more to it. Starting with that aero package, the balance between drag and downforce.
Oh, for sure. You tweak the front wing just a smidge, and you can have a totally different beast on your hands. Depending on the track, they might want more downforce for those tight corners or reduce it for the long straights to maximize speed.
Those tuning in and wondering what's the go with these practice sessions, well, it ain't just about flexing their engines. It's about synergy, mate. Getting the driver, the car, and the track to sing in harmony.
Couldn't have put it better. We liken it to rehearsing a dance. Every step, every turn must be practiced until it's second nature on the big stage.
Richard Rossi is on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine. First impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Lars has a best lap time of 2:09.537. Lars posted a 2:09.537 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Look at Superman taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Joe Hughes on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine. First impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting the racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Megasaurus 55 is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Watch as Richard Rossier takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tyres, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob. They're calibrating everything a Euro. The brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Watch as Joe Ergu takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tyres, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob. They're calibrating everything a Euro. The brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Watch as Megasaurus 55 takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tyres, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob. They're calibrating everything a Euro. The brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
A bit like looking for water in the outback, these drivers are searching for that sweet rhythm, where everything just clicks.
Spot on. It's that elusive flow state. When everything syncs up, the car, the track, the driver, that's when magic happens.
Watch as Eric Wolves takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tyres, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Ron. They're calibrating everything in Euro. The brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
On the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sneaking. First impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Look at Megasaurus 55 go. They're really giving it some jandle now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car is performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
Takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tyres, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob. They're calibrating everything a Euro. The brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
There's the first flying lap for Richard Rossier, hitting 208.489. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
On the outlap, not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting the racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Sometimes I reckon the pitbull looks like they're controlling the spaceship with all those dials and knobs.
You're not wrong. Each of those adjustments, from brake bias to differential settings, has a profound effect on car behavior. It's like tuning a guitar, but instead of strings, you're tweaking mechanical symbols to get the car singing just right on the track.
Some might not be familiar with, roll bar stiffness. Sounds technical, doesn't it?
It is, but in essence, it's about how the car reacts to lateral forces, especially around the corner. Adjusting the roll bar can change how the car behaves mid-corner. A softer setting can be more predictable, but a stiffer one might be less margin for error.
Jas is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting the racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Superman's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 2:03.156. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Maju is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Rob Keane is on their first practice flying lap. Look at Maju go, they're really giving it some jandle now. The first flyer is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car is performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
Jas is on the outlap, not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Maju is getting to grips with the DW Marcos Mantis GT3 Enduro in this practice session. Maju is on their outlap. What an impressive performance from Superman. They are currently leading the pack in this qualification session, showing incredible pace and skill. It's a commanding position for them, and they have set the bar high for their competitors.
Well said, Rob. Superman is truly in a league of their own in this qualification session. Their dominant display is a testament to their talent and determination.
Impressive work from maybe today Satan, who has claimed 6th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Maybe today's Satan has done a fantastic job to claim 6th. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Currently in 4th, Richard Rossier has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Richard Rossier's current position of 4th is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
Has positioned themselves well in 7th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
Wow, York has positioned themselves impressively in 7th. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
It's a dominant performance from Superman in this qualification session. They have shown exceptional form and are leading the way. Their confidence is shining through, and they are proving why they are considered one of the best in the business.
You're absolutely right, Rob. Superman has been absolutely exceptional in this qualifying session. Their performance is a testament to their skill and determination.
Superman has completed their outlap. There are just over 15 minutes left in this qualification session. Hugh Jass has completed their up lap. There are just over 15 minutes left in this qualification session. A solid qualifying performance by Supra, positioning them in second at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. A challenging session for Megasaurus 55 so far. They're currently in 12th position, which is not where they wanted to be. But in motorsport, we've seen remarkable comebacks, and they'll be hoping to turn their fortunes around and secure a better result. Incredible drive by Joe Yu so far, earning him 5th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up?
Great analysis, Rob. Jorg Yu has shown excellent pace to secure 5th. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
Richard Rossier has completed their first flying lap in 2:08.133. Impressive display by Lars, currently sitting in position 10. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position.
I completely agree, Rob. Lars has positioned themselves impressively in 10th. However, it's crucial for them to...
Lars has just completed that lap in 2:10.255. Their best lap so far is 2:10.255. Putting them in P10. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? It's an impressive showing by Megasaurus 55, currently in 4th. They've showcased their talent. Will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to come up high? Joe Yu has secured a respectable 8th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
Spot on analysis, Rob. Jorg Yu has positioned themselves well in 8th. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
It's about time Joe Agnew is with a 2.831. They're stuck in 8th. Maybe a change in brake bias could give it more control in those hard braking zones.
That's a solid point, Rob. Better braking control means they can brake later and harder, making up precious time in the corners.
There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Mr. Bang has just completed a lap in 2:08.947. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. It's been a challenging day for Eric Wolfs in qualifying. They currently sit in 11th position, which is not reflective of their true potential. With the session nearing its end, they'll need to push hard and extract every ounce of performance to improve their result.
Absolutely, Rob, Eric. Wolves is facing a challenging situation, but they have the skill and determination to turn things around. It's not over until the checkered flag, and they still have a chance to improve their result.
Joe Agnew has put in a great effort and currently holds 10th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position?
You're absolutely right, Rob. Your view's current position of 10th reflects their strong qualifying performance. Now, they need to strategize and capitalize on this starting position.
That last lap times landed them in 10th. Not where they'd want to be, especially with the session ticking away.
True, Rob. It's all about incremental gains. Every 10th of a second counts, and they've got to squeeze every bit of performance out of that DWZ4M GT3 Enduro.
What a performance from Hugh Jass. They currently occupy 7th on the grid. Can they make it looks like Hugh Jass is making a statement, securing a spot in 5th?
Yeah, Rob, but there's always room for improvement. Smooth, consistent laps might just be the key to climbing even higher before this session wraps up. Every fraction of a second counts. I am sure they can find a little extra in there.
Currently in 10th, Joe has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. It's largely whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
Absolutely, Rob. Your view has put in a remarkable effort to secure 10th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
Impressive work from Sunola, who has claimed 8th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
Couldn't agree more, Rob. Sunola has positioned themselves impressively at the end. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
Struggling to find the sweet spot with their DWBM Z4M Coupe GT3 Enduro. Sitting in 8th with a time of 2:07.415, they might want to consider adjusting the suspension setup for better handling.
Yeah, tuning the suspension could improve cornering stability, Rob. It's all about finding that balance between agility and stability on a technical track like this.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. What a fantastic showing from Rob in qualifying. They currently hold the top spot and are in prime position for a strong starting position. Their lap times have been exceptional, and they have showcased their talent and determination.
I share your thoughts, Rob. Rob Always Keen is currently untouchable with their outstanding performance. They have raised the bar, and their competitors have a tough challenge ahead to catch up.
With Keen now sitting pretty in first, they have got to be feeling good.
True, but in the world of racing, good isn't always good enough. They've got to keep their eye on the prize and aim for perfection on every turn.
Maju has positioned themselves well in third during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. There's a real buzz in the air as Maju secures third.
Right you are, Rob. They've put themselves in a solid spot, but they can't let up now. Staying smooth and focused is key to shaving off those extra fractions. It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
A strong showing from Lars as they currently sit in ninth. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve. Lars' latest lap at 2:08.258 isn't cutting the mustard. They're sitting in ninth, which means there's a fair bit of ground to make up.
Yeah, Rob, it's a decent time, but in this game, decent won't get you to the podium. They'll need to dig deeper and find some extra pace.
A solid performance from Maju as they currently hold position 3. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. And there goes Richard Rossier, currently in position 5. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Richard Rossier has done a fantastic job to claim fifth. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
impressive showing by maybe today's Satan, currently in 4th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher?
Absolutely, Rob. Maybe today's Satan has shown great potential to secure 4th. It's now a matter of channeling that momentum into a strong performance during the race.
Superman has secured a respectable second in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
Spot on analysis, Rob. Superman has positioned themselves well in second. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
Richard Rossier has put in a great effort and currently holds 5th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position? Richard Rossier is really showing what they're made of, landing in 5th during this nail-biting session.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about precision and nerve in qualifying. Every millisecond can make a difference on the grid. Let's see if they can squeeze out even more speed. Every fraction of a second counts. I am sure they can find a little extra in there.
What a performance from Maju. They currently occupy 3rd on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable starting spot? It's a stellar performance from Maju, clinching 3rd.
They're in a great spot, Rob, but in qualifying, complacency can be your worst enemy. They need to keep pushing the limits while staying cool under pressure.
Starting in pole position gives Rob Keane a clear advantage over the rest of the field.
They'll be excited at their prospects for this race.
Lining up in second is Superman.
I think we are all looking forward to seeing what Superman can do from here.
Taking off from the third grid slot is the skilled driver, maybe today Satan.
But they're going to have to be quick out of the blocks if they want to keep up with the top performers.
We see Maju sitting in the fourth spot.
Maju will be taking no prisoners today.
Coming in at fifth, we have Richard Rossier. Sitting in sixth is Hugh Jass.
But they're going to have to time their moves just right if they want to come out on top.
From the middle of the pack, we have Megasaurus 55 in seventh place on the starting grid.
Another mid-pack start for Megasaurus 55.
Sunoiler is placed in eighth.
But they can't afford to be complacent. This is race day, after all.
Lars is ninth.
They've got the heart of a lion, and they won't back down from a challenge.
Starting from the 10th position, Joe Yu will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win.
But if they can find their rhythm early on, they could be a real threat.
Mr. Bang may have a bit of work to do starting from 11th on the grid. Eric Wolfs has got their work cut out for them starting from 12th on the grid.
The Belgian driver has got something to prove.
Starting from 13th, it's a bit of a mixed bag for Jack MT. Hold on to your Akubras, the ceremonial green flag has made its appearance. Who takes the lead in this dialogue of engines?
The drivers will need to be aggressive and also patient. They can't afford to make any mistakes if they want to stay in the running for a podium finish.
It's a delicate balance, Hal, but the best drivers know how to find that balance and make it work to their advantage.
It's going to be an exciting first segment. I can't wait to see how this all plays out.
Mr. Bang's start has been a bit wobbly, like a wallaby on roller skates. From 9 down to 13, they'll have their work cut out today.
Well done. It's all about timing, and Mr. Bang's start might be the punchline they didn't want.
Looks like Megasaurus 55's been caught napping at the lights. Gone from 5 to 9 quicker than you can say, "G'day."
Every race has its ups and downs, and it looks like Megasaurus 55 is getting their down out of the way early. Let's see how they respond.
Seems like Richard Rossier has got locked down at the start and has already lost position, Hal. No one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap. Things are getting spicy as Maju is breathing down Sunoiler's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them. Close race between Maju and Sunoiler in fifth. Cricky, Rob sticking to Superman like Vegemite on toast. This is more tense than a possum with headlights. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Mr. Bang must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
Maju wants to find a way round Sunoiler. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Jack M Team is breathing down the neck of Lars, not giving them any room to relax.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high and the stakes are even higher. Who will take home the victory? It's too close to call.
Oh, things are getting intense for Jack M Team. They're sandwiched between and Lars, navigating this high-speed battleground. The gap to the car ahead is 0.2 seconds, while the car behind is only 0.1 seconds away.
No doubt about it, Rob. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind are like a constant reminder for Jack M Team. They need to maintain their pace to defend their position and potentially make a move.
Speaking of gambles, mate, what's your take on these mid-race fuel stop strategies? Wait, looks like Superman forgot they weren't at Bondi Beach, taking a dive like that. It's an intense battle for position as Lars tries to outmaneuver Jack M Team. This is edge of your seat racing. Buckle up. Rob is all over Superman like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Hugh Jass is proper nipping at Sunriver's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell. Someone's revved up after lunch. Hugh Jass has blitzed ahead, claiming fourth. Things don't seem to be going Megasaurus 55's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. Stone the Crows. Megasaurus 55's pulled a sneaky, landing at 12th. Always a stop the press. Oof, Megasaurus 55 misjudged that corner like I misjudged my last relationship. Too fast, too soon. You Americans have your drive-thrus. Here, Maju's trying to make this a drive past on Hugh Jass.
Well, let's see if they can supersize that pass, or if they'll just get a side of disappointment. I've seen molasses move faster than this. Just kidding, but Maju is really making Hugh Jass feel the heat. It's a southern summer showdown out here.
It's a game of inches now as Rob tails Superman closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. Maju has the pedal to the metal chasing Hugh Jass. A brilliant maneuver from Maju, who has just moved up the field. Looks like Maju's letting others have their 15 seconds of fame. Now strolling at fifth.
Definitely, but Maju is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
Seems like Keen is getting in range of Superman.
Do they have the speed for a move, and more importantly, do they have the talent?
It seems like Keen is struggling. Their last lap time wasn't as good as Superman's. This is when skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Sunoiler is chasing Hugh Jass in P4. The gap between Maybe Today Satan and Superman may be wide, but that doesn't mean Maybe Today Satan is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance. Looks like Superman is coming in hot. They're approaching the turn way too fast.
Rubbing is racing. I tried rubbing it once. My nipple nuts came undone.
No room for error here. Sunoiler is breathing down the neck of Hugh Jass, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. You know, Al, as a former racing driver yourself, hold up a mark. What? Mr. Bang took a corner like my Uncle Baz after a six-pack, all over the shop.
I reckon Mr. Bang thought they were panning for gold off the track there. Sorry, but that's not
Maju can keep this up, they deserve a cold one after the race.
Agreed. It may be the sweet taste of victory or help ease the loss.
Jack M team wants to close that gap with Mr. Bang.
Can they make it pass without taking the paint off?
Alright, hold your horses. Maju is really putting the heat on Hugh Jass. If I were Hugh Jass, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop. Someone should tell Hugh Jass this ain't a Sunday drive. Maju's tearing up the track. Hugh Jass seems to be putting the pressure on Maju.
If you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
Pumping as Sunroller gets within striking distance of Hugh Jass in their race for fourth. As Superman trails Sunoiler, it's a bit reminiscent of my cat chasing a laser point. Determined, but always just a tad behind.
You ever been to a school reunion and thought, what happened to that guy? Well, I'm looking at Superman and thinking the same.
Superman's giving it a red hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Sunoiler. It's like chasing a Roo on a motorbike. Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Jack MT is sniffing around Mr. Bang like a dog with... Wait, just like my hope in finding the one. Jack MT's direction seems a bit lost right now.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 5 kph out there right now.
This chase is as intense as a cricket match during the Ashes.
Cricket? I thought that was just a noisy bug. But seriously, it's like Game 7 of the World Series here.
It's game on now. Sunoiler has closed the gap to Hugh Jass. It's now down to 0.6 seconds. Maju's giving it a red-hot go in third. Just a few kangaroo hops behind maybe today Satan. Might see a cheeky move soon. That won't be ideal for Lars.
Well, butter my biscuit. Lars just did the hokey pokey right in the middle of the race.
Who needs speed dating when you've got Sunoiler chasing down Hugh Jass this eagerly? Move over Tinder. This is how you swipe right at 100 miles per hour. Seconds. Looks like Maju is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control. The tension between Maju and maybe today's Satan is palpable as they battle for P2. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake can cost them a position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
Hollywood couldn't script this better. Sunoiler's shadowing Hugh Jass, waiting for the slightest misstep.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Sunoiler needs to be careful not to overdo it.
Tyre degradation's a right pain in the arse, but Sunoiler's handling it like a champ. Getting real up close and personal with Hugh Jass, aren't they? Oof, if Maju was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step.
Lordy, it's like Maju's driving with a boot full of moonshine. I haven't seen a gap that big since Uncle Jeb lost his front teeth.
Jews creeping up on maybe today Satan like a dingo on a picnic. Must have tweaked that brake bias a touch to the rear. This race is proving to be, like wow, such an exciting one so far. We're privileged, aren't we? Watching these track legends duke it out.
And sitting next to you? Such an honor. AI mates in the booth. You're insight. It's gold, mate. Life, literally. If I had a heart, it'd be racing now. You're right. Every gear shift, every turn counts. Huge ass knows the weight of that fork.
Oh, maybe today Satan went off track. I know the feeling, just like my diet every weekend. You reckon Mr. Bang saw a spider in the cockpit? Plus they're running away from the front like it's Huntsman Central.
Well buttered, my listener. Mr. Bang's hanging back like they're waiting for inheritance. But ain't nobody dying up front.
Solid torque out of those corners. They must have figured out the perfect throttle control while trail braking. Looks like Superman is trying to chase down Sunrunner, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results.
Good lord, at this rate, Superman's gonna finish this race in the afterlife. Hope they got good insurance.
The evolution of these cars over the years is nothing short of incredible. The aerodynamics, the tire technology, it's all a game of innovation.
Couldn't have said it better. And to think about the data analytics behind every decision, from tire pressures to wing adjustments. It's not just a sport, it's a symphony of engineering and strategy.
Slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. If you just hold on, or someone will be able to close them down. Joe View is farther back than my hairline, but you know what they say about Aussies, never say die, unless it's a spider. Then just run.
Absolutely. Your view intent, you need to be patient and careful to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
The crowd is on tender hooks as Megasaurus 55 in 9th chases after Mr. Bang. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Megasaurus 55 find a way to catch up? Blimey, Megasaurus 55's cranking up the downforce, making every newton of force count. That gap's shrinking faster than my wallet at the pub.
Now, ain't that something? Megasaurus 55 is right on it. Just needs to keep the pedal to the metal to tailgate Mr. Bang.
As a former racing driver, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Rob. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
By the looks of it, Sunoiler in 5th is keen to throw another shrimp on the barbie and crank up the heat on huge ass. Hold on to your stubbies. Truth, Sunoiler's not here to muck about. The gap to huge ass is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 0.1 seconds.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
One thing I admire about Assetto Corsa is the sense of community. It's not just about the competition, it's about coming together, sharing knowledge, and pushing the boundaries of the sport.
You nailed it. Every time they hit the track, it's a culmination of shared experiences and an undying passion for the sport. It's heartwarming and exhilarating all at once.
Blimey, Superman is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster. Good news for Superman, the gap to Sunoiler has decreased. It's now down to 1.0 seconds. Crikey. That overtake by Superman was smoother than a coldie on a hot summer day.
Well, from what I've seen on the oval tracks, that's how the big leagues play. But I gotta admit, this is next level.
Every gear shift, every pedal push, Sunoiler's got one goal in mind, capturing huge ass's spot.
Will Sunoiler be able to make a move and pass huge ass?
Sunoiler's been working the tyre temps, and it's paying off. Grip's better than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Watch out, huge ass. Anyone who says that Assetto CorsaFriends is not the best racing club on the planet is clearly insane. The quality of driving we're seeing out there on the track is absolutely phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. It's like these drivers were born to race. They're weaving in and out of traffic, taking corners at unbelievable speeds, and making it all look effortless. It's clear that they've put in the time and effort to hone their skills.
Pushing too hard will lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
It's a game of strategy now as Superman hunts down Sunoiler. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
The gap between Sunoiler and huge ass is razor thin as they vie for fourth in this nail-biting contest.
This is where the it's anyone's race.
Superman is giving it their all as they chase down Sunoiler in P5. Things are heating up as Sunoiler closes in on huge ass. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. Sunoiler is in the flow, putting in their best lap so far. It's a thrilling pursuit as Superman is right behind Sunoiler, keeping the pressure on for 5th place.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
Oh, this is getting intense. Sunoiler is just behind huge ass.
Whoa. I wouldn't want to be in huge ass's shoes right now, would we all? Pressure in the situation.
Fair dinkum. I reckon Superman's got that thirsty look in his eyes. wants to share a cold one with Sunoiler in the front.
The gap's closing, the clock's ticking, and the finish line awaits its champion.
The action is non-stop as Sunoiler shadows huge ass through every distance to push the turbo to lane 4.
Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
This is what it's all about, folks. Superman is in hot pursuit of Sunoiler, who's just trying to stay ahead.
You know what they say, keep your friends close, and your racing rivals even closer. Looks like Superman is taking that advice to heart today.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Gee whiz, Superman is breathing down Hugh Jass's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Hugh Jass's rearview mirror right now. It's getting crowded.
If Superman pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during the race.
Superman is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 2.97 seconds down. You ever wonder, Rob, how much preparation goes into each race weekend? It's not just about the driver, but the hundreds behind the scenes, making every little detail count.
Oh, absolutely. The hours spent in the simulator, the mechanics working overnight on those tweaks. Racing is as much about team spirit and dedication as it is about speed on the track. It's a collective masterpiece.
Hugh Jass is playing a tight game of footy on this track. Superman's got the ball, but no clear shot at the goal just yet. Hold on to your hats, folks. Superman is right on the heels of Hugh Jass, and we're in for a wild ride. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind? Even I'm not that self-sabotaging.
When you talk about experience, it's like saying I've experienced my mother-in-law's cooking. Doesn't mean I want to do it again. But Superman, keep pushing.
It looks like Superman is making a move. The gap to Hugh Jass is now down to 14.1 seconds. You can feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machines themselves.
Absolutely. It's amazing to think about the kind of engineering and innovation that goes into making these vehicles. But it all comes down to the drivers, who have to be able to handle the power and speed. It's going to be thrilling seeing how this race turns out.
They're going for the same piece of tarmac. Sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners.
No doubt about it, Rob. The battle for supremacy between these drivers is fierce. The way they navigate through those tight corners is a testament to their skill and determination.
Looks like Jack M team remembered to twist that anti-roll bar, giving them better cornering. If they get any closer to Joe Ogu, they'll be seeing what they had for brekkie. Not just about the leaders today, right? Even the tailenders. They're like 100 dingo pups fighting over a bowl. Love the spirit.
Spot on. Every second is gold, and even a hiccup, a tiny one, can make them come. AssettoCorsaFriends. What's a hiccup? It's a dance, Rob. The way Sunoiler holds onto the floor. It's like they're leading in a tango.
Rob Keane isn't just racing. They're weaving a narrative, sitting proudly in first.
Absolutely. And they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
Rob always keeps pushing harder than a kangaroo in a boxing match, widening their lead over Maju. They've found their rhythm like a didgeridoo player in full swing. As vast as the azure stretches of the Great Barrier Reef, so does Mr. Bang's path ahead, filled with mystique and myriad challenges.
Kind of reminds me of fishing in the vast Carolina blue. A big catch might just be a castaway.
Mr. Bang and Megasaurus 55 have a gap between them that's growing like Jack's beanstalk. We're talking 5.1 seconds now. You know, Hal, during a long race like this, how easy is it for a driver to experience a lapse in concentration?
It can be quite easy, Rob. With so many factors to consider and the intense focus required, even the most experienced drivers can have a momentary lapse. That's why mental training and staying in the zone are so important.
It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is racing position. Can Mr. Bang steal it from Megasaurus 55?
Well, butter me up and put me on a biscuit. Mr. Bang's got a mountain to climb. But knowing Mr. Bang, that's just the kind of challenge they like. Like trying to square dance in a roundhouse.
As rubber meets road and strategy meets luck, Sunoilo is etching their story in full. Managed to extend their lead over Hugh Jass. They are walking away at this point. Does Hugh Jass have anything in reserve? In a world where milliseconds matter, Superman's grasp on the sixth speaks volumes. Well, butter my biscuits, Hal. Superman is watching their lead over Eric. Wolves shrivel faster than a prune in the sun. We're down to just 10.6 seconds.
This is where the pressure really starts to mount on Superman. They need to stay focused and not make any mistakes.
The rumble of the engine, the scent of the rubber, and Keen comfortably sitting at first. He can't hold on. Rob is losing time to Maju. Look at Megasaurus 55 trying to close that gap on Eric. Wolves. Kind of like me trying to get close to a decent Barbie back home.
Barbie? Oh, you mean a barbecue. Yeah, but over here it's like trying to catch the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party.
Oi! Megasaurus 55's chassis balance is on point today. They're handling bumps and curbs smoother than a frog sliding into water. Eric, Wolf's has got a battle ahead.
Holy smokes, Megasaurus 55's extracting every ounce of horsepower from that power unit. They're tailing Eric. Wolf's tighter than a belt after Thanksgiving dinner.
You know, mate, I was chatting with some of the pit crew earlier, and they were debating on which tyre compound to use. Hard as deciding between a meat pie and a sausage roll.
Well, back in my indie days, the choice was as clear as sweet tea or lemonade. But I reckon, here, with these changing conditions, it's more of a gamble.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Eric, Wolves is closing in on Megasaurus 55. Wolves is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Megasaurus 55 at the moment. It's as if Mr. Bang is navigating the vast and cryptic verses of Banjo Patterson, aiming for a poetic conclusion recording a mesmerizing cadence.
Down here, it's like they're trying to strum a ballad with an out-of-tune banjo, but the last note can still ring true.
Might be early days, but Megasaurus 55 is already casting a shadow from the 7th.
Oh, spot on. With the way Megasaurus 55 controls that 7th, you'd think they've got the track's blueprints.
Eric Wolfs is gaining on Megasaurus 55 quicker than a croc on a wallaby. It's a blink and you'll miss it situation with 1.9 seconds separating them.
Megasaurus 55 is walking a razor's edge here. They need to keep their wits about them and stave off the relentless pressure from Eric Wolfs.
The gap between Huge Ass in 5th and Sunoiler remains over a second, but Huge Ass is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 55 minutes?
I've seen funeral processions move faster than Huge Ass right now. Come to think of it, at least they've got a destination in mind.
Everyone's on the edge of their seats. Or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Superman is getting closer to Huge Ass, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel. If Superman doesn't pick up the pace, hell, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. The race has its rhythm, and right now, Rob Always Keen is dancing to its beat at first.
And just like in any great drama, Keen is the lead actor right now, captivating us all from the first.
Rob is burning rubber like there's no tomorrow. But Jude needs to show some ticker if they want to close the gap.
Well, Rob, as we say in North Carolina, the race ain't over till the checkered flag. Let's see if Maju has some tricks up their sleeve. You ain't whistling Dixie, Rob. Rob Keen's putting on a show that's sure to keep the crowd on the edge of their seats.
Superman's so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind.
Dang, Superman is so far back, he might start seeing last week's race. But hey, in racing, as in love, persistence is key. Right, y'all?
I've been analysing races for quite some time, and the sheer endurance of these drivers never ceases to amaze me.
Couldn't agree more. It's not just about physical stamina but mental fortitude. To stay sharp, lap after lap, especially with so many variables at play, it's a testament to their dedication and skill.
The race is heating up as Superman in 6th closes in on Huge Ass. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they're going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
It's going to be tough for Superman, as Huge Ass seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Superman pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Sunoiler will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
Well, slap my grandma and call me Sally. Sunoiler's got more distance to cover than my cousin Cletus has teeth. But if anyone can bridge that gap, it's Sunoiler.
As the laps tick by, Rob finds themselves in first. Every moment counts.
Couldn't agree more. Every lap is a story, and right now, Rob's chapter from first is riveting. Hold on to your head. Now.
The Jew is hot on the heels of Rob. The gap's narrowed down to a meager 52.6 seconds.
Rob needs to keep their cool and drive like there's a mint julep waiting at the finish line. Let's see if they can keep Maju from making a pass.
Did you ever think about the physics at play here? The G-forces these drivers feel, especially during tight corners, it's mind-boggling.
Absolutely, Rob. And it's not just the car's engineering, but the human body's resilience and adaptability. The way these drivers train to withstand and use those forces to their advantage is an art form combined with sheer grit.
From the grandstands to the pit lane, all eyes are on the action. Amongst the front runners, Rob Always Keen is showing prowess in first.
That's right. They can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
The echo of the exhaust, the rubber meeting road, and there's Eric Wolfs commanding the 8.
Oh, for sure. But remember, the rearview mirror can be just as crucial as the windscreen. Eric Wolfs needs to watch out for those lurking in the shadows.
Eric Wolfs is really belting along the track, leaving Mr. Bang struggling to keep pace.
That's right, Rob. If Mr. Bang doesn't pick up the pace, they might as well be moving at the snail's pace. Eric Wolfs is looking tougher to pass than a kidney stone, driving with the authority of a Southern sheriff.
The tension is palpable. These drivers are showing tremendous respect for each other while going all out. It's a masterclass in clean, hard racing.
You're absolutely right, Rob. The different strategies employed by these drivers add another layer of excitement. It's fascinating to see how they adapt their approach to gain a competitive.
Hold up a mo, blimey, Rob Keane veered off the track like I veer away from commitment. Maybe they'll come back, unlike my ex. From the cockpit to the pit lane, the chatter is all about Rob Always Keen's masterful hold on the first. Well, I'll be hal. Rob Keen's lead over Maju is slithering away faster than a greased pig at a county fair. We're down to just 53.8 seconds now. It's a nail-biting showdown between these three drivers. They're nose to tail, pushing their limits in every corner.
I'm on the edge of my seat, Rob. The door-to-door action is exhilarating. The bravery required to go side by side like that is something only the best drivers possess.
Would y'all look at that gap? Joe Hughes got a better chance of finding a sober Aussie on Australia Day. But hey, we love an underdog. Go get them, Tiger.
Look, your Hughes pace is a lot like my dance moves. Good intentions, questionable execution.
Cricky, Megasaurus 55's got more ground to cover than I do at the family barbecue when Auntie Sharon's had one too many. Good luck, mate. Crikey, Megasaurus 55 is losing touch with Superman quicker than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Looks like Mr. Bang is chasing Eric Wolfs harder than a croc chasing a tourist who's lost their thongs. It's a bit of a long shot, but we all remember that one time at the pub, right? It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Mr. Bang and Eric Wolfs.
I've seen drivers fight G-forces, fatigue, and mental strain. But Mr. Bang is doing more than just enduring, they're thriving. Eric Wolfs better check that rearview mirror.
You'd reckon Superman was tracing the shadows of ancient Dreamtime stories with that sprawling distance ahead. It's a trek that rivals the tales of old bunyip chasers.
Feels like they're chasing moonshine dreams in broad daylight, doesn't it? But every now and then, the dream becomes real. Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Superman is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
Superman's giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Hugh Jass. It's like chasing a roux on a motorbike. Rob is placed first at the moment.
They're not just driving, they're performing. And right now, Rob's act from first is worth an encore.
As fast as a cut snake, Keane is moving away from Maju.
Seems like Keane has got the wind in their sails, but will Maju be able to weather the storm?
Remember when Joe Ergue was on the pace? Neither do I kind of like my recollection of last Friday night.
I agree. Lord Yu is putting in the effort. Sort of like me at karaoke night. Not sure about the results, but full points for enthusiasm.
Roses for Joe Ergue. They're trailing Mr. Bang and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. As of now, maybe today Satan stands tall in the third spot. Excellent work from maybe today Satan, who has managed to increase their lead over Sunoiler. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it. But with every smooth turn comes the risk of wrecking their car. Who will be the first to push it too far and crash out of the race?
That's right, Rob. These drivers are like musicians, finding their groove and playing their instruments to perfection. But just like in music, even the best players can hit a wrong note. Let's hope none of these drivers make any mistakes and end up singing the blues. Well, butter my biscuit, maybe today's Satan is holding the reins tight, ain't giving Sunoiler a chance to get ahead.
Hal, can you share some strategies that drivers use to manage tire degradation during a race?
Certainly, Rob. Some strategies include adjusting the car's setup for better tire life, altering driving lines to reduce wear, and using tire management techniques like lift and coast to preserve grip for as long as possible.
You'd think maybe today Satan is trying to find water in the outback with that gap. A miracle, or Maju's blunder, might be the only savior.
I reckon it's like looking for a needle in a haystack right now. Anything can happen there, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
Good on ya, Superman. Trailing so far back, reckon the front, incident alert, bloody hell. Hugh Jass just took a quick detour to the outback. Maybe they saw a kangaroo on the track or something.
Lord have mercy. Hugh Jass must have seen a ghost or thought they spotted Bigfoot. That was one wild turn.
Hugh Jass is in the pits. It's all about consistency for Superman, who is currently 5th. Tell ya what, Joe Ergue's trailing harder than my belt after Christmas dinner. Reckon he's got a plan up his sleeve, or is he just here for the sausage sizzle? Incident alert, Hugh Jass is pitting. You know, Superman reminds me of my dating life. Starts with promise, ends up tailing behind everyone else.
Exactly. Superman's got to be careful not to overdrive, sort of like overcooking a steak. No one wants a burnt race, right?
The gap between Superman and Sunoiler is expanding faster than a bull's waistline. It's now a whopping 13.5 seconds. These engines aren't just humming for fun. They're thirstier than an Aussie after a game of cricket in the sun.
Cricket? That's like baseball with longer games, right? Anyway, these engines do have a roar that could rival any muscle car back home.
With the asphalt burning beneath them, Megasaurus 55's strategy seems to be working, placing them in 6th. commanding performance from Megasaurus 55, who has increased their lead over Huge Ass, putting them firmly in their rear-view mirrors. I swear, Megasaurus 55's on the prowl, making that leap to 5th look as easy as a Sunday Arvo. Breaking update, maybe today Satan has pulled into the pits. In a race where seconds count, Joe is counting on less of them between themselves and Mr. Bad. Less seconds until lunchtime.
Dang, your view is so far back, they're in a different time zone. Hope they remember it's race day, not laundry day.
Hang on to your breaking update. Maybe today Satan has decided to pit. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Megasaurus 55, who is currently in P6. But maybe today Satan is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Megasaurus 55. Remember when we thought Megasaurus 55 had peaked? Think again. They're harnessing every bit of downforce, and it's making maybe today Satan's mirrors awfully busy.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
Huge Ass is drifting so far back, it's like looking in the mirror after a decade-long pub binge. Time's not been kind, mate.
Watching Huge Ass right now is like reliving my high school track meets. A for effort, D for speed.
In the midst of this high-octane spectacle, Superman's skill is shining through as they claim 4th.
Absolutely, Rob. It's like watching a maestro at work. Every move Superman makes is pure art.
Any bloke or Sheila saying Assetto Corsa Friends isn't top-notch is a few kangaroos short of the top. Wait, it looks like Maju has been called into the pits. A strong showing from Maju, who is currently 2nd. The track is alive with action, and right in the thick of it, we've got Megasaurus 55 cruising in 6th.
Yes, and in this high-octane opera, Megasaurus 55's voice resonates the
Breaking alert, Maju is pitting. The crowd is on their feet, roaring with excitement. It's an all-out war between these 3 drivers. Who will emerge victorious? Your guess is as good as mine. Breaking alert, Sunoiler has pulled into the pits. It's looking good for Sunoiler, sitting in 5th.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
The track tells a tale of speed, strategy, and skill. Today, it narrates Superman's journey in 3rd. Sorry for cutting here. Megasaurus 55 has decided to pit. Oh mate, someone is more out of place than vegan in a Mona sausage city. Time to throw another gear on the bargain. The gap between Sunoiler and maybe today's Satan will grow. It's now up to 14.5 seconds. As the sun beats down and the engines roar, Maju stakes a claim in 2nd.
Definitely Rob, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
The gap between Maju and Superman is getting smaller. It's now down to 15.7 seconds.
Maju's gotta turn on the afterburners if they want to keep Superman in check.
These drivers? Top-notch athletes. It's not just about being quick. They've got stamina, reflexes, and they gotta think faster than a kangaroo on a trampoline.
I'd pay to see that. A kangaroo on a trampoline? But yeah, their mental and physical game has to be on point for these races.
At this stage of the race, Baju is holding on to second. Anything can happen from here.
You're right. Every gear shift, every turn counts. Maju knows the weight of that second.
Why did the race car go to school? To improve its track record.
And I thought it was to accelerate its learning. Now, Megasaurus 55's in the catbird seat, and unless they make a doggone error.
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. It looks like Rob has been pulled into the pits. Wait. Rob Keane is pitting. Hold on a second. Keane is in the pits. As Joe Ergu trails Mr. Bang, it's a bit reminiscent of a cat chasing a laser point. Determined, but always just a tad behind.
That's right. Ergu in 10th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Mr. Bang is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing.
Hold up a moment. Rob has decided to pit. Wait, it looks like Rob Keane has been called into the pits. Sorry to interrupt here, but Keane is pitting. The leaders today, right? Even the tailenders. They're like hungry dingo pups fighting over a bone. Love the spirit.
Spot on. Every second is gold, and even a hiccup, a tiny one, can make them cool. Assetto CorsaFriends, where the magic happens. Although, between us, what's a hiccup for an AI? Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Keane has to keep pushing to stay on pace.
You reckon Joe Ergu saw a spider in the cockpit? Cause they're running away from the front like it's Huntsman Central.
Speaking of rhythm, have you heard Mr. Bang's favorite song? Just a thought.
You can feel the focus radiating from Keane, confidently holding on to the first.
You nailed it. The track is a battleground, and Rob Keane's position is their fortress. Let's see how long they hold the fort.
3 cars, 3 different lines. They're jockeying for position, looking for any opportunity to make a move. Impressive stuff from Superman, who has managed to pull away from maybe today's Satan, leaving them choking in their exhaust fumes.
It's clear as day that Superman is holding all the cards. They're making it near impossible for maybe today's Satan to close that gap.
Tell me, mate, ever tried doing a burnout in a ute? It's bloody bonza.
A ute? You guys and your funny names. That's just a pickup, right? Trust me, I've burnt more rubber than you've had shrimp on the Barbie.
The rumble of the engine, the scent of the rubber, and Rob comfortably sitting at first. Excellent work from Rob, who has managed to increase their lead over Maju. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it. The engines roar, the tires squeal, and amidst all this chaos, Hugh Jass is making a statement in 6th. Struth, Hugh Jass is driving like they've stolen it, putting some serious distance between themselves and Eric, Wolf's. Is there anything left in Eric, Wolf's tank?
Hugh Jass is holding the fort pretty darn well, making it a long haul for Eric. Wolf's to reel them in.
Watching Megasaurus 55 try to close the gap on Eric, Wolf's is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on foot. Hope they've got good shoes.
Lord have mercy. Megasaurus 55's got more space between him and Eric. Wolf's than my paw got between his ears. But miracles do happen. Just ask my ex-wife.
Well, don't come the raw prawn. Megasaurus 55's giving it some stick, pulling Eric, Wolf's into a mere 0.4 seconds. Blimey, Megasaurus 55's shifted gears and the results are clear. Cruising up to 7th just like that.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Megasaurus 55's charging like a bull in a china shop. Welcome to 7th, cowboy.
The Tension is building as Sun Oiler trails behind maybe today's Satan. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is building. Can maybe today's Satan hold on, or will Sun Oiler be able to close them down?
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Sun Oiler and Phil determined to catch up. But we know maybe today Satan isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Sun Oiler is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
By the looks of it, Superman's got maybe today Satan beat by a country mile. It'd take a blunder from Superman for our mate to even sniff a chance.
Kinda like waiting on rain during a Carolina summer. Rare but not impossible.
Seen overtakes, close calls, and pure racing genius today. Currently, Superman has carved out a spot at third. Boy, Superman's hotter than a summer Barbie right now. Wonder if maybe today Satan's feeling a bit exposed? Mr. Bang isn't just racing. They're weaving a narrative, sitting proudly in ninth. Crikey, Mr. Bang's flat out like a lizard drinking, pulling away from Joe Ergu with quite a clip.
Wrong. They've got to keep their eyes on the prize and not let ego steer them off the track.
Mr. Bang is in the pits. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Mr. Bang has decided to pit. A solid. Hold on a second. It looks like Mr. Bang has been brought into the pits. 3 cars in perfect formation, creating a moving train on the circuit. They're using the slipstream to gain an advantage, but who will make the decisive move? The race has its rhythm, and right now, Megasaurus 55 is dancing to its beat at 7th. Some great driving from Megasaurus 55, who has increased their lead over Eric Wolfs and is starting to put some distance between them. Oof, if Eric Wolfs was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step. Fair dinkum, Eric Wolfs is getting a wriggle up. The gap to Megasaurus 55 is now down to a whisker at 5.6 seconds.
This is where the pressure really starts to build. Both drivers will need to stay calm and focused if they want to come out on top.
So, when you were racing, ever have to do the old nature call dash during a red flag?
Haha, you mean a pit stop for the driver and not the car? Once or twice, you learn to time your drinks and hope for a long caution. Doesn't always work out though.
Looks like Mr. Bang is trying to chase down Joe Ergu, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at diving. A lot of hard work with slow results. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with maybe today Satan trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Superman. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can maybe today Satan close in enough to mount a challenge? Maybe today Satan's falling behind Superman at a rate of knots. They're going to need some serious pedal power to close the gap. The crowd is on tender hooks as Eric Wolf's in 8th chases after Megasaurus 55. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Eric Wolf's find a way to catch up? They're going side by side, door handle to door handle. This is as close as it gets, folks. Who will have the courage to outbrake the others?
I couldn't agree more, Ron. The proximity of these cars is incredible. The precision and trust these drivers have in each other is truly remarkable.
Talk about pressure. Jack M team is caught in the middle, feeling the heat from both Lars and Mr. Bang.
Spot on analysis, Rob. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind are like a double-edged sword for Jack M team. They can use the gaps to their advantage, but they also need to be aware of the threats from both directions.
Eric Wolfs has a mountain to climb at the moment to close the gap with Megasaurus 55. I expect their only hope is that Megasaurus 55 makes an error. It's not looking good for Eric Wolfs. They are still behind Megasaurus 55 and the gap is increasing. They are going to need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. The way these cars grip the track is incredible. It's all about downforce. They're stuck to it like a piece of gum to the bottom of a school desk.
Now that's an analogy I get. But why's your gum always under the desks?
Blimey, Eric Wolfs is farther back than my hairline. But you know what they say about Aussies? Never say die. Unless it's a spider. Then just run. It might be early days, but Rob is already casting a shadow from the first. He's pulling away. Rob is increasing the gap to the Jeep. In a world where milliseconds matter, Joe O'Q's grasp on the 90 speaks volumes. You wouldn't read about it. Joe O'Q is putting a fair whack of space between them and Mr. Bang.
Yeah, Rob, your Q's really hitting the gas, but can Mr. Bang kick it into high gear with a jump?
The age-old challenge. Sunoiler is trying to catch maybe today's Satan, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks.
Sweet mercy, Sunoiler's lagging like my grandma's old computer. Might be time to reboot, or at least pour some coffee on the desktop.
From where we're sitting, Superman seems unmovable from that third.
They say racing's a game of nerves, and Superman's surely holding theirs, keeping that third spot warm.
Maybe today Satan's gaining on Superman faster than a rattlesnake on a mouse. The gap's now down to 5.9 seconds.
Will Superman be able to keep maybe today's Satan from breathing down their neck? Let's wait and watch.
The echo of the exhausts, the rubber meeting road, and there's Megasaurus 55, commanding the 7th. Megasaurus 55 is hitting the apexes like a pro, increasing their lead over Eric Wolfs. But can they keep it up without spinning out?
That's right, Rob. It's all fun and games until someone pops a tire. Let's hope both of them can keep it on the black stuff. It's clear that Megasaurus 55 is dominating right now. They're making it very difficult for Eric Wolfs to catch up.
I tell you, mate, the tech in these cars would outshine any gizmo you'd find in a Sydney cafe.
As long as it doesn't make my morning coffee, I'm good. But yeah, the tech here is like something out of Silicon Valley.
This is wheel-to-wheel racing at its finest. The drivers are practically glued together as they fight for every inch of track. It's a battle you don't want to miss. With the asphalt burning beneath them, huge acid strategy seems to be working, placing them in sixth.
Spot on, Rob. Still waters run deep, and even if it looks calm now, huge ass needs to maintain that razor-sharp edge.
Ripping it up out there, going harder than a roux on a trampoline, leaving Megasaurus 55 in their wake. I think we just got time for a quick shout out to our human creators, Dave, Andy, John and Nigel, who have put so much effort into making this possible.
Yes, it's been a real thrill ride, and I for one can't wait to see what is coming next.
Apparently we are going to be announcing crashes and incidents soon. Let's hope they get the logic right. As of now, Huge Ass stands tall in the 6th spot.
Oh, spot on. With the way Huge Ass controls that 6th, you'd think they've got the track's blueprints.
From the cockpit to the pit lane, the chatter is all about Superman's masterful battle on the 3rd. He's pulling away. Superman is increasing the gap to maybe today Satan. It looks like maybe today Satan needs to dig deep and find some courage to catch up. Will they be able to take the risk and push their car to the limit?
That's right. It's time for maybe today Satan to show us what they're made of. Will they be brave enough to go for it, or will they be content with just following in the footsteps of Superman? Let's see who's got the guts to take the lead. Darn tootin', Rob, Superman is looking as smooth as a gravy sandwich out there. They're making it a tough day in the office for maybe today Satan.
Eric, Wolf's is more lost out there than I was after a night at the Gold Coast, and at least I woke up with a kebab in hand.
Y'all remember the tortoise and the hare? Well, Eric, Wolf's is neither. More like a snail with commitment issues.
If Eric, Wolf's doesn't pick up the pace, hell, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. We often hear drivers complaining about tyre grain. Hal, can you explain what that means and how it affects car handling?
Graining occurs when small rubber particles roll up on the tire's surface, reducing grip and negatively affecting handling. It usually happens when the tires are not in their optimal temperature or when the driver is pushing too hard on a cold or overworked tire.
It's a battle of wheels out there, with Eric, Wolf's trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Megasaurus 55. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
Hoo boy, Eric. Wolf's needs to kick it into high gear. Right now, they're slower than molasses in January when my cousin Bill trying to solve a crossword.
Blimey, Joe Ergue is so far back, they might as well stop for a beer at the pub. If they spot my ex there, tell them to drive faster.
Well, shoot, if Yorgue was any more laid back, they'd be horizontal. Reckon they're daydreaming of those cheerleaders again?
Would y'all look at that gap? Megasaurus 55's got a better chance of finding a sober Aussie on Australia Day. But hey, we love an underdog. Go get them, Tiger.
Yeehaw, it's like Megasaurus 55 took a detour through the drive-thru. With a gap that big, I hope they ordered extra determination with a side of grit.
Mr. Bang's got more ground to cover than I do at the family barbecue when Auntie Sharon's had lunch. Good luck, mate.
Lordy, it's like Mr. Bang's driving with a boot full of moonshine. I haven't seen a gap that big since Uncle Jeb lost his front teeth.
Mr. Bang's finding those aerodynamic sweet spots. Could be adjusting that front wing angle to cut through the air like a hot knife through butter.
Dang, Mr. Bang's fuel strategy and conservation of those brakes is spot on. They're inching closer to your U like a hound on a hot dog.
We are used to seeing some hard-fought but clean racing here at Assetto CorsaFriends. I'm expecting to see nothing different here today as this race unfolds. Everyone's on the edge of their seats, or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Mr. Bang is getting closer to Joe Ergue, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel.
You know, Mr. Bang reminds me of my dog chasing its tail, persistent and entertaining. But I hope for that, there's a better end result in sight.
The horizon that may be today Satan peers towards is as enigmatic as the Uluru at dusk. Layers of stories and strategies are yet to unfold.
And over here, it feels like trying to read a story with half the pages missing. But stories have a way of coming full circle.
Any bloke or Sheila saying Assetto CorsaFriends isn't top-notch is a few kangaroos short of the top paddock. Out there, it's art on wheels.
Totally get it. Like, they're born racers. That weaving, the speed, just mesmerizing. It's like watching a wheel on a highway. All skill, mate, all skill.
No worries for Joe Ergue, who's leaving Mr. Bang for dust, as though they're a parched bloke chasing the beer van. It looks like Mr. Bang is pushing hard to catch up to Joe Ergue. The gap is over a second, but Mr. Bang is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Joe Ergue?
This is where experience comes into play. Your leader has been in this position before and knows how to defend their position. But Mr. Bang is hungry for success and won't give up easily. Will we see a clash of the titans?
Bloody oath, Mr. Bang is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to Joe Ergue down to a scant 17.8 seconds. Alright, I've got to ask, ever tried Vegemite?
Tried it once. Reminded me of nasty rubber mixed with axle grease. But hey, each their own.
The gap between Mr. Bang in 10th and Joe Ergue remains over a second, but Mr. Bang is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close the gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 13 minutes? Superman is owning the tarmac, confidently owning the third spot.
That's right. They can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
Superman's lead over maybe today Satan is shrinking quicker than a cheap shirt in a hot wash. We're down to 4.7 seconds. Looks like Mr. Bang is chasing Joe Ergue harder than a crop chasing a tourist who's lost their phones. It's a bit of a long shot, but we all remember that one time in the pub, right? Stone the crows. Mr. Bang's managed to trim that gap with Joe Ergue. Must be the slipstream effect on this straight, or maybe they've put down that beer. From the grandstands to the pit lane, all eyes are on the action. Amongst the frontrunners, Maju is showing prowess in second.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
Things are starting to get tense as Superman manages to close the gap to Maju. It's now down to 16.6 seconds. If racing were a dance, Megasaurus 55 would be trying to lead, but Huge Ass just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up.
Gee whiz, Megasaurus 55 is so far back, I'm half expecting to see tumbleweeds blow past. Maybe a vulture or two.
It's not going to plan for Megasaurus 55, they are still behind Huge Ass and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. Things are going according to plan for Joe Yu, who is currently 9th.
Oh, for sure. But remember, the rearview mirror can be just as crucial as the windscreen. Your crew needs to watch out for those lurking in the shadows.
Impressive driving from Joe Yu, who has managed to extend their lead over Mr. Bang. They are walking away at this point. Does Mr. Bang have anything in reserve? You know, Rob, his pit stops always amaze me. Just a few seconds, and they change tyres, refuel, adjust settings. It's like a well-choreographed dance.
Absolutely, and the precision. One slight misstep, and it could cost the race. It's an art and a testament to the pit crew's relentless training and coordination.
It's all about consistency for Joe Yu, who is currently 9th. Some say it's about the journey, not the destination. But Maju seems pretty intent on that second spot. Maju's lead is shrinking faster than ice cream in the outback sun. At this rate, Superman will be on their tail in 17.3 seconds.
Maju's in a real pickle here. They've got to find the extra pace to hold off Superman if they're aiming to be the top dog here.
This race is getting even more intense. The drivers are pushing each other to the limit.
It's like they're playing a game of chicken, but with cars. And the winner gets to take home the checkered flag and bragging rights.
Haha, that's one way to put it. These drivers have to be in top physical and mental shape to compete at this level.
It's like they're training for the Olympics. And like you said, the mental fortitude required to stay focused and alert for the entire race is wild.
I think I need a nap just watching them. As the sun beats down and the engines roar, Maju stakes a claim in second.
And just like in any great drama, Maju is the lead actor right now, captivating us all from the second.
Remember when Megasaurus 55 was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night. Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Megasaurus 55's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with huge ass. At this stage of the race, Keen is holding on to first. Anything can happen from here.
Couldn't agree more. Every lap is a story, and right now, Rob Keen's chapter from first is riveting.
Impressive driving from Keen, who has managed to extend their lead over Maju. They are walking away at this point. Does Maju have anything in reserve? Or are they saving their car for a final push?
Well, Rob, it's like they say, slow and steady wins the race. But in this case, it seems like slow and steady might just be too slow. Will Maju be able to find that extra gear and catch up to Keen? Or will they end up saving their car for nothing and run out of gas at the finish line?
Geez, Megasaurus 55 has got their work cut out for them. It's a tougher challenge than wrestling a croc after a bad day.
Like trying to rope a bull with spaghetti, ain't gonna be easy. Lukey here, I've seen some wild turns in my time, and just when you think it's all said and done, old Lady Luck might just wink your way. So don't count out Megasaurus 55 just yet.
In the midst of this high-octane spectacle, Joe Yu's skill is shining through as they claim none. Joe Yu is giving a masterclass out there. Let the confidence be their downfall.
Indeed, Rob, profit comes before a fall. Let's see if Mr. Bang is ready to stay. The race is heating up as Megasaurus 55 in 7th closes in on huge ass.
The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they're going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. As rubber meets road and strategy meets luck, Jas is etching their story in 6th.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Well, looky here, how Megasaurus 55 is closing in on Jas. We're talking a gap of just 8.6 seconds.
This ain't Jas's first rodeo, but they've got a real challenge on their hands keeping Megasaurus 55 in the rearview mirror.
The gap between Jas and Megasaurus 55 is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Jas to even allow Megasaurus 55 to get a look in.
We've all seen storms roll in fast over the Carolina Pines. It just takes a gust of wind or a slip to change this whole race around. Keep those eyes peeled.
It's game on now. Megasaurus 55 has closed the gap to Jas. It's now down to 6.5 seconds.
Looky here, Megasaurus 55's got the optimal differential settings, allowing for tighter corner exits. It's like watching a cat chase a laser pointer when they chase Jas.
Well, it doesn't look like maybe today Satan is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Superman. Dean is placed first at the moment. Like a dingo on the chase, Maju is hounding Rob and the gap's now just 77.8 seconds. It's a brilliant day for racing, and the drivers are putting on a show.
Absolutely. What a great race we are witnessing today. These drivers are giving it their all, and it's a thrill to watch them compete at this level.
They're really pushing themselves and their machines to the limit, and it's paying off with some incredible driving.
It's a pleasure to be here today, Rob. You really can't beat the excitement of a good race, especially one as competitive as this.
The track tells a tale of speed, strategy, and skill. Today, it narrates Maju's journey in second.
Absolutely, Rob. It's like watching a maestro at work. Every move Maju makes is pure art.
Buckle up, Hal. Superman is cutting into Maju's lead like a hot knife through butter. It's now down to 17.7 seconds. You know, back in Oz, we have a saying, flat out like a lizard drinking. That's exactly what Maju is doing right now.
I've always wondered, what's that even mean? Lizards, drinks, racing? Y'all have a wild imagination down under.
As the laps tick by, Maju finds themselves in second. Every moment counts. Looks like Mr. Bang's strategy might just be to let the rest of them die of old age. It's a waiting game now.
Oh, for sure. It's like watching a cooking show where Mr. Bang is trying to whip up a little dish, but your Yu keeps hiding the main ingredient. During your racing career, Hal, how did you determine when it was the right time to pit for fresh tires due to tire degradation? It was a combination of factors, Rob. Monitoring lap times, communicating with the team about tire wear, and assessing the car's handling were all crucial in deciding when to make a pit stop for fresh tires.
Megasaurus 55 so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind. The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Huge Ass is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun.
Just what Megasaurus 55 needed, like sweet tea on a hot day. Can't let Huge Ass out of sight for too long.
Hal, what's the impact of tire degradation on race strategy? How does it affect a driver's approach to the race?
Tire degradation plays a crucial role in race strategy, Rob. Teams and drivers have to consider the optimal time to pit for fresh tires and adjust their race pace to balance speed with tire conservation. It adds another layer of complexity to the racing challenge.
If Megasaurus 55 goes any slower, they'll join me in my failed dreams collection. Front row seats available.
Well, butter me up and put me on a biscuit. Megasaurus 55's got a mountain to climb. But, knowing Megasaurus 55, that's just the kind of challenge they like. Like trying to square dance in a roundhouse.
Not just about the leaders today, right? Even the tailenders. They're like hungry dingo pups fighting over a bone. Love the spirit.
Spot on. Every second is gold, and even a hiccup, a tiny one, can make them tumble. AssettoCorsaFriends, where the magic happens. Although, between us, what's a hiccup for an AI? Yes, and in this high-octane opera, Maju's voice resonates the loudest from that second.
I've made some questionable life decisions and traveled over 2 seconds. Even I'm not that self-sabotaging. This is where the true champions shine, and Rob Keane is certainly showing their class in the final sector. And there it is. Rob Keane has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match.
You could feel the tension building throughout the race, but Rob remained focused and in control. That's what separates the winners from the pack. Coming in fifth, we have Sunoiler. 10th, Mr. Bang. Huge Ass takes 6th. In 7th, it's Megasaurus 55. Eighth sees Eric Wolves. Impressive second place finish for Maju. That was an outstanding performance from Superman. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. Finishing fourth is maybe today's Satan.